Humidus podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Humidus podcast with me, ya boy Hammer, and of course, the weeaboo of weeaboos himself. It is.
Well, Steph, but I don't think I smell that bad. I
True,
mean,
you do smell good. You do smell good. I'll give you that.
yeah, doesn't that already disqualify me from being a weeaboo?
Oh, I was just joshing you.
All right, I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide for now
Yeah,
because
okay,
we have
yeah.
a lot of good news today.
Very good news, or very positive news at least, because we have been watching the PlayStation 5 showcase, which was live yesterday, and whoa.
I'd say this removed a little bit of my cynicism. They had a lot of
Definitely.
good stuff. A lot of good stuff.
I mean, we felt that with the Xbox Series X, Microsoft was kind of punching back, and
Yeah,
really kind of taking a broad stance and cementing themselves in this console war. But this showcase, I mean, Sony really came back swinging.
yeah. I think they punched like a little bit above their weight class, to be honest. With
Absolutely.
and
Yeah,
in a way,
is no slouch.
no, and I mean, the Xbox itself, I thought it was a pretty decent showcase, and especially the pricing and all that. It's definitely not a bad offer. But I was already leaning towards PlayStation since I have the PS4 and all that. But then now it's like there is no other choice for me. Easy as that.
So let's just begin with just going through the lineup that they showed here.
Yeah, what a lineup it was too.
Yeah, and yeah, we're gonna get. Let's start with number one. The first game they showed was almost a little bit shocking to me. It was Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, dude.
Just fucking straight up.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh yeah, by the way, Final Fantasy 16.
And it's gonna be gritty, bloody, violent, medieval. Just like
yeah, it looks so cool. The aesthetic looked so fucking good.
Yeah.
Even though it looks a little bit unpolished, but it's probably very early for the game.
Yeah, they probably just how to say they scrounged up something presentable and just like, all right, we're gonna do this a little bit earlier than expected. Let's just jam it in here to make it maximum impact. And
yeah, that's my impression too. They were like, they probably with the kind of Xbox punchback. They were like, okay, we gotta just get together, just bring out all the good shit, as much as possible. Just get a demo ready, get everything ready, and let's fucking own this. And they really, that's the feeling that you get from watching it. Is that they really dragged it home.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy 16, yeah,
it's happening. The thing is, with that game, I really got the impression that I got a lot of Witcher 3 vibes from it too, especially when he was fighting the setting is one thing, but the other thing was that, and I mean it's in all the good ways as well though, because especially when he was fighting the Marlborough, and it looked like those kind of boss Witcher contract fights, except with Final Fantasy kind of acrobatic, fantastical, magic movement, and it looks. I was like, I want this. I want this now.
Yeah, I know. It was so fucking dark and like spooky the way that it seemed really kind of realistic, even though the Marlboro is like a fucking insanely crazy monster, with the billion tentacles and eyes and a huge mouth. But still, it was like you were like, oh my fucking god, I don't want to be in the dark meeting that thing out in the shallow water like that.
And he hits you with bad breath, and then suddenly you have every STD known to man.
Yeah, like warts growing out of your eyeballs type of STDs. Yeah, but still, I mean, I do love the very adult kind of Final Fantasy because, and I just I love Final Fantasy overall, but this type of Final Fantasy really is kind of, I don't know if it's missed because some of the later iterations have been a little bit, on the adult side, but this one is, like you said, more like a Western RPG style, more like medieval and gritty and dark.
It's kind of how I imagine the world of Final Fantasy 4 and 6 to have been if it was 3D.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things they do and say in those games also are like the things that happen. It tend to be quite quite dark, but then like there's a lot of murder and some genocide and stuff like that. But you don't. But it's because of the graphics. Obviously, it's not going to come across as gnarly. But here, it's just like, all right, we're just gonna take you to the next level. This is gonna be probably a rated R Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
which is crazy to me.
I seriously don't think they're, or I seriously hope that they're not kind of over promising here, because Final Fantasy development has been a little bit rocky in the past.
Yeah,
and they're still kind of making FF7 remake like the next series, or the next episode or whatever.
Yeah,
in
true.
That series. So let's hope they didn't bite off more than they can chew with this one.
It seems because it says it's made by, or like presented by, Square Enix Creative Business Unit 3.
Yeah.
So instead of just calling it like Square Enix Osaka or something like that, they just straight up called it like Creative Business Unit 3.
Yeah, we're making 3 games at once. That's what we do now.
Yeah, and at the initial impressions, when I saw the trailer, was like, wait, so is this, because I was watching it with a friend who plays 14, and he said, wait, is this like an expansion to Final Fantasy 14? Because it kind of looked a little bit like it at first, not in a bad way, but the aesthetic and everything. Until they showed more of the medieval aesthetic, right? But the initial impressions and the monsters, I was like, this is this? But then suddenly it's like, oh no, this is more than that. This is like, holy shit, this is an actual numbered entry in Final Fantasy again.
Yeah, and they just dropped that on us. That's like, I do love that, that they really just make a fucking demo.
Yeah,
let's get it out.
I just feel so sorry for the poor Japanese developers that had to do overtime crunch because of this. Hope you're all doing healthy. Yeah, hope you're all healthy out there, guys.
That is some like pyramid Egyptian shit.
Yeah. They're just like pushing giant metric tons of code up on planks. I'm sure that's how development works.
Poor bastards. But yeah, to our enjoyment. So woohoo. But all honor to those poor souls who had to crunch. Okay, so the next entry or presentation was Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Which is also like a super heavy title.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I love the PS4 game. Like I think we've talked about this in a previous episode as well. But this one, I'm really looking forward to this one because I loved Into the Spider-Verse. Now I remember that we saw it together. And
yeah.
But my only wish with this game is that they make Kingpin the same way he was in Into the Spider-Verse.
Just everybody is looking like a normal human being, but Kingpin is like 10 humans put together
with his head just like smack in the middle of his body.
Yeah, his head is protruding out from like his abdomen somewhere, like where his stomach is. It's like a dark. How does his esophagus work? Is it kind of directly inputted into the stomach, or does it go like up and back down? What do you think?
What would look the most interesting in an X-ray?
I mean, it would be like up and back down, of course. But
I think
he would need to have like some serious kind of peristaltic muscle or something to kind of force the food up.
I also spoken like a true med student here. I think no, I mean, like, how strong he is.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
probably
surprised.
no problem. Yeah, that's no
Yeah,
problem. The food will literally just walk up up the stairs and slide down by itself
yeah, I think
because it's
so.
so strong. Oh, what a unit! What a fucking unit!
One of the
We had some
best
good
character
laughs.
designs. Yeah,
Yeah. Did I send you that meme, by the way?
yeah, you did.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, all right. So back on topic. Um, this game, I mean, it looks so fucking good in the gameplay trailer. It was very cinematic,
hmm
but I love that kind of style, and it reminds me so much of the old Spider-Man games,
Yeah,
where you literally you are the hero. You know, you need to save civilians and all that kind of good jazz. And even though it's kind of a quick timey, you know, and maybe not too replayable some of the stuff, but it just looks so freaking cool, you know.
yeah.
Very, very cinematically well done by the looks of it, of course.
And I thought there was a lot of quick times, like quick time events in the Spider-Man PS4, the original as well. But for me, it was never intrusive. It just added to the epicness of it because it happened so fast and it blended so well with gameplay. I thought that it felt right, and I think this game is just bringing more of the same in terms of gameplay with some added twists. And that's I don't need any more than that.
No, I mean it doesn't need to be like negative with the quick time events, and especially in these types of games where you do need to kind of sell the superhero kind of experience,
Yeah.
which is also a very kind of over the top cinematic style of storytelling.
Mm.
So I just feel that this looked really, it just fit, you know, it fit the universe, it fit the type of game. Looked really, really smooth, and I think they went for that, you know, the perfection of the formula.
Yeah.
So this is almost like a system seller for me, because when I saw this, I was like, oh my god, I'll have to buy the PS4.
Yeah, and you didn't play the original, right? The Spider-Man PS4 game, or did you?
No, no, not on the PS4. Just
S-
the original on Xbox, the original Xbox. You know.
yeah, I mean, good times though, and I would say that you get a huge value package because you get the remastered version of the PS4 title and you get
Yeah,
the Miles Morales content. So for you, you're gonna have a field day. You're gonna love the experience, I'm sure.
yeah, I think so too. I think that's kind of what kind of pushed me over. And I really didn't expect Spider-Man to be the game that pushed me over, but
Yeah,
I mean, when I saw this, it just looks so fucking fun, and it reminded me of me being like, you know, what, 12 years old and having a blast with the old Spider-Man games.
yeah, and I'm curious about the story too because I think Miles is a really cool character, especially in his own comic.
Yeah,
His it's actually a really fun story, and I think the way he was introduced in the PS4 game as well was really cool. And I'm really expecting to see a lot of fun stuff happening when him and Peter are becoming like this kind of mentor and student kind of thing. I think
mm,
it's gonna be a lot of fun
yeah,
stuff there.
yeah. Okay, so do we proceed? What was the
Yep,
next title, Steph?
it's uh, it's Hogwarts Legacy. It's the game I didn't know I needed until I saw the trailer.
I mean, I didn't know that this was in the works. I apparently it leaked some information about this game earlier,
Yeah,
but I never heard about it.
me neither.
But
Um,
this is like a kind of a dream title that
yeah,
everybody who's read Harry Potter like ever wanted, you know, an open RPG style uh a Harry Potter game with endless possibilities, you
yeah.
know.
I mean, and
Uh
it was so pretty too. It didn't look like a cash-in game at all. It looked like a
no.
solid, heavy-hitting title. And this the Harry Potter world, I feel, has so much potential. There's so much possibility for cool stuff in there. And the latest movies kind of tried to do that with Fantastic Beasts, but then they kind of misstep after that.
Absolutely.
But there's so much more potential, and this, like in the late 1800s, and it's just like everything looked so cozy,
Mm.
familiar yet new, and
Yeah.
just like, and as soon as you got to the world around it, I was like, oh, this looks so nice.
Yeah. This is like you can feel that it is a passion project rather than a money grab,
Yeah,
and you can feel, like you said, the it's really this really is a triple A, production. It's not like a hodgepodge and made something game, But yeah, I think this game could really, but it does have some potential downsides. We didn't really get to see any gameplay here,
true.
so I mean, it is a teaser. We don't really know how the game is going to play.
Yeah,
But I hope that if it is like a story RPG ish type of game with a lot of exploration and different environments, but centered around school and stuff like that. Yeah, it would be fucking amazing.
yeah, I'm all for it. This is the ticket to explore that world that I needed.
Oh yeah. So, but like I said, we don't know anything about the gameplay here.
Yeah, so it's
So
solely based on what we see and the potential we see in it.
mm, but it does look great. Man, does it look great. And like you said, the environments look so vibrantly magical and very thoughtfully designed.
Yeah, and it also looked like it brought out a lot of those kind of Avalon-y type of like fantastical, like mythological Britain,
Yeah,
England, like with the from the the way you imagine it looks after reading about King Arthur and all those,
yeah, I understand what you mean.
and that's I like that, you know. I can I really hope this game is successful. I hope they don't fuck it up. Please don't. We are cheering for you here,
Yeah,
Portkey Games.
Porky Games. Yeah, I was about to mention that. Would they ever make anything? Yeah, they did. They actually made some previous Harry Potter titles.
Oh,
Um, Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery
okay.
in 2018 and Harry Potter Wizards Unite, which is a mobile game.
Oh, okay.
But both are mobile games, so they do have some experience here.
Let's hope that they're. I guess this is then their first console foray. So
Yeah,
you
it
know,
looks like they've kind of stepped up.
yeah.
They proved themselves with a couple of decent mobile titles. The first game, the 2018 game, did actually get great reviews, but the second one was a little bit more lackluster. So
Okay.
yeah, but it's Warner publishing, so it might be because they're riddled with some microtransactions and stuff.
Ah, a little bit of
But
that corporate stench in there, yeah.
oh yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, this has the potential to be a really cool game.
Yeah, it looks like they're putting the money they got from all the microtransactions to good use at least.
Yeah, I hope that's where the money goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, if that was how it worked, I would be okay with microtransactions.
Yeah.
But then you would have like the most insane games because like billions and billions of dollars would go to like game development.
Yeah, you just you pay for the right to pay for microtransactions, and then you pay to wear the skin you paid for.
Yeah, you pay to basically have the best graphics possible
Oh no!
ever
Oh,
in the company.
imagine that
But
they actually made graphic settings behind a paywall.
yeah, I hope they never do that. That would be insane.
Oh, you want
Yeah.
stereo sound and not mono? Here, $10, please.
But I mean, that would not be beyond, I think, but just not so obvious. But
Yeah.
there are like almost like settings type of restrictions on some games. That,
Oh no, I feel my cynicism creeping back. Go
yeah, no,
away.
Go away. Yeah, go away. Okay, so the next game we already knew about. It is Call of Duty Cold War.
Hmm.
Uh,
We saw a little bit of single player in this one.
and yeah, so we see a mission in this one, and I mean, it looks cool. It's like I don't have too much to say about this.
Same.
It's like the graphics are good.
Yeah.
The weapon models look good. They do seem to have like kind of a sniper-esque slow motion bullet time.
Yeah, that was
When
a
you hit
little
the
bit.
headshot.
I was wondering
It was a
about
little bit
that.
weird,
I mean, it's
but
certainly one of the points that made the sniper series fun. But is this gonna be
yeah,
like? Is this just a cinematic or is this an actual thing? I can't
yeah. I was
imagine it's a thing
wondering
multiplayer.
about that. No, I mean, I was wondering about that too. So it was like a little bit weird, but I think that it's probably just scripted into like some sections. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, cool. A little
Yeah,
bit weird. It's only
yeah. It was a little bit like unfamiliar with COD, and when you
yeah,
saw that. But yeah, it looked like a COD campaign mission.
yeah,
A lot of on rails stuff.
yeah. And I
So
think I think it's the same for me as it was for you. As in, like, I don't think our impression changed from seeing this, and for me, it's still a buy. You know.
yeah, yeah, totally. It's like it looks like a solid game, but it doesn't hype me. Anything more. Like
Yeah.
you said, it's like, yeah, this is COD. Um, was there anything more about that? Yeah,
Mm.
you could try the alpha
Oh yeah.
thing in Germany and Japan, something, something. No, um,
It starts
or
tomorrow at the time of
just
recording.
yeah.
If you
So that was
pre-order.
if you pre-order. Yeah, that's so if any of you guys pre-ordered, you can try it out tomorrow.
Yeah, and let us know what you thought about it if you can.
Yeah, write it in the comment section. Okay,
Moving on.
moving on. So let's see here. The
Yeah.
next game. What was the next game?
Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, it was Resident Evil. Okay, so this game we've already hyped to high heaven.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Uh, I thought this trailer in particular wasn't as good as the first trailer.
no,
Uh, it was still good, but at first I was a little bit like, is this Resident Evil 8 or is it something else? And then, but then it it wasn't as I was
grabbing.
confused, not so much in the good way as when I saw the first trailer they released where it was like, wow, this looks insane, and then it's like, oh shit, it's Resident Evil. Where it's like, what? This was more a little bit like the Rainbow Six World Cup, kind of
Yeah,
confusing.
yeah, yeah. I felt that way too. So it's obvious that we're kind of getting the same impression here. I mean, it wasn't bad by
No, no,
any stretch, but it was just a little weird, a little bit how they decided to present it.
yeah. Probably didn't do the game any favors, but I'm still really hyped for the game from the first
Oh
trailer,
yeah,
and this
for
can
sure.
just be chalked up to the people that made the trailer didn't really do it justice.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Um, okay, so we just move on to the next one then, because that's a big one. I feel
Deathloop.
Deathloop. Yeah, what do you think about it? I mean, now we saw a lot more.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I'm curious
yeah,
because it seems like it's leaning almost more on the puzzle side,
absolutely. Yeah,
and
and it's a lot more kind of movement mechanics and stuff like that
yeah,
than I would expect, or I don't know what I expected, but it looks like you said, it's more puzzle solvy um, than the first impression maybe made it out to be.
yeah. Which I might be wrong about this, but it seemed like that because the way they talked about it, and or the way the narration went,
Hmm.
and like how they redid the loop to get that one. scientist guy and all that. It
Mm.
really seemed like, okay, this is like an intricate puzzle, and this is the pieces that I did, um, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just
Oh no,
curious how it's gonna play out. Like, how's the actual gameplay gonna feel like?
I think this game has the potential to be a masterpiece. I really do. I
Yeah.
feel that, the kind of learning and getting to know the loop, like you said,
Mm.
I think it could be really, really good, but it can also fail miserably if it doesn't kind of play on the strings perfectly.
Yeah. Did you ever play Super Hot?
No,
Have you heard about it?
no.
So it's essentially this game that brought in a new mechanic where time only, it's a shooter or like a action shooter kind of thing. So it's melee also, but time only moves when you move. So
Yeah.
you
Okay. Maybe I
can
did
either,
play this game.
you did play it?
Is it like very minimalistic?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I played that on VR. I think. Yeah.
Right. And I feel like this is, well, not completely the same, but it's a little bit the same. Because that's also kind of like you have to prioritize the right enemies, and also like it becomes a little bit of a puzzle element to it as well. I kind of get a little bit of that from Deathloop too.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be kind of like that. You have maybe some timings you have to hit.
Yeah,
Some things but you need to kind of explore and maybe you need to fail here and there, and then you'll kind of perfect it.
yeah,
Like the procedure through the level. Uh, I do love that kind of game. If it is a game like that, and it
mm,
did seem like that, uh, but it has to be not too over the top, not too many weird mechanics you have to master, just maybe one or two or three, maybe, um, because some of these games can make it really, really hard for you to to kind of get your head around the mechanics.
yeah,
But I do feel that this seemed like the right blend of action and figuring it out how to perfect the loop, so to say.
yeah. I agree. And the fact that it is from Arcane, like we talked about before, the people that made um, Dishonored series and Dark Messiah, they know
Mm.
how to make compelling first person movement and combat. So at least, if someone's going to make something like this with a lot of movement mechanics and these things, I trust these people can deliver on that.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're great too, and their way of making games is, yeah, they're very experienced with that type of first person, movement uh, based, and even like Dark Messiah had some puzzles to it.
Yeah, it did.
So
As long as they didn't break
yeah,
and you had to reload.
or bug out, reload 30 times before you could get through. Yeah, great game, Dark Messiah.
I'm looking
Great
at
game.
you, Spider Temple.
Okay, well, so that's Deathloop, and after Deathloop, we had Devil May Cry 5,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right.
Uh, so I never played any of the Devil May Cry series. I do know kind of what kind of game that is, but I don't have a personal relationship with it.
Yeah, same here. I played 4 a little bit on PC without a controller back in the day, and I assume that doesn't give me the best impression of the game.
No,
So, but
but it,
yeah, I share your opinion on this one. Like, I also don't have a relation, but yeah,
but it looks good. This is kind of a graphical remake or something.
probably just an enhancement because
Yeah,
the normal 5 is pretty new. So
yeah, right. So this is like what a PS5 edition something.
yeah, probably. And I'm not sure if it's a free upgrade, but if it is, I mean, good on them. If not, then does it justify a purchase for you guys that already played the fifth one? I mean,
I did, yeah, I did see the mention of some kind of horde mode or something. So maybe they did add a little bit more.
okay. Well,
Uh,
that's
but that's judging from the trailer, so it might
yeah,
be bullshit.
yeah. Anyway, the next one, the next one is like also another series that I have absolutely no relation to, which is
Yeah,
Oddworld Soulstorm.
yeah. Me too. I did mention that before that I played it on the original Xbox, the Munch's Odyssey.
Yeah,
Uh, but I mean, I only played that at my friend's house, and yeah, it was. I don't really have like a nostalgic feeling or something or anything like that towards this game series.
yeah. But it looked interesting though. I'll give it
It does
that.
look interesting, and the Oddworld games are almost always kind of unique and interesting.
Yeah,
Uh, for me, it's just I do just think that it's the type of game that's not my favorite type of game, but
yeah.
still, it looked good. It doesn't look bad in any. It looks interesting, and for people who like this type of game in the series, I think it'll be a slam dunk.
Hopefully, yeah. So I like I at least appreciate the wave of bringing back nostalgic old series, either for remakes or for new entries.
Yeah,
So I'm all for that, and let's
and
hope
the
they.
name
Hmm?
Soulstorm,
Let's hope it's not like Dawn of War Soulstorm
like
in
the
quality.
Soulstorm. Yeah, the infamous Soulstorm.
The Codex Astartes names this maneuver Steel Rain.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Ah, yeah. Let's
That
let's hope it's
reminds
not Steel Rain.
Yeah, that reminds me of that rap song. Do you remember that?
Bald
Made
Brothers.
from Evolved Brothers. Yeah. Oh my god, that was good. Link
Oh
in the description. Link in the
yeah,
description.
like the description.
So yeah, but still, Oddworld. It does look good, but to us, not that interesting.
Yeah. So moving on, I guess
Moving on.
it's a third one in a row for me that I don't really have a relation to.
Yeah, me neither. But this was Five Nights at Freddy's. Um, I mean, I did play it a little bit, just a little bit when it was in the craze about it, the scary gameplay loop of trying to keep these animatronic dolls away. But the gameplay trailer didn't really show all that much.
Yeah.
It was just kind of this game is coming, you know.
Mm.
Um, what did you infer from what you saw?
Um. Well,
It's
it looks like they're changing it, or at least uh, the graphics are better.
yeah,
it
yeah,
loo- it looked like higher production values. So I assume, like, if it becomes really intense, I'm sure it's gonna do well on maybe Twitch and for content creators, stuff like that. So I'm sure it's gonna be fun to play if you have someone, like if you're there with a friend or something. So, but yeah,
sure.
otherwise, yeah. I mean, I'm more hyped for the new Amnesia that's been announced when it comes to horror
Yeah,
games.
I mean,
So
horror games is a little bit your area, isn't it?
it is, it is. So that's why I guess it's a little bit of a heresy that I haven't played any of the Five Nights at Freddy's. But I like the more 3D kind of, a little bit more where you go and explore and get fucked over by whatever is lurking out there.
Yeah, yeah, man, I get you. So, and it was a really short trailer, anyways. It was like almost like just an announcement of yeah, this game is coming,
Yeah, no,
and
fair enough.
the next one is a big one. I mean, it's not new, but we got to see a lot more this time.
Yeah,
and it is Demon Souls in all its glory.
Yeah, man. It looks beautiful.
What do you think? It looks really beautiful. I mean, it looks insane.
Yeah,
Uh, the I really couldn't have imagined anything like graphically better. And it does look like the mechanics are well preserved, even though they are more modernized. You can see that they're, you know, a lot smoother, and but still, it does look very, very kind of recognizable.
definitely. And um, I think this is great, especially for someone like me who never played Demon Souls. I just read about it and kind of got the. I remember reading an article. I think it was an IGN when
Mhm.
it came out, saying like, "Oh, this is a title that almost no one talks about, but it's really good and it's really hard. But it's kind of like a hidden gem kind of thing." And
Mm.
so I was really on board when Dark Souls was announced because I had already seen what they could do with Demon Souls and seen how well um, how hard it looked. But since I didn't have a PS3, I could never see it. And then when Dark Souls, it really is what got me onto the hype for the first Dark Souls, and
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to playing this one as well because it's the classic.
Hmm. Yeah, this is like the really the first from iteration. I mean, they had the King's game. What was that
Yeah,
called? King's Blood or something.
a King's Play. Yeah, yeah,
Uh, Before this, that was also kind of reminiscent, but this is the first kind of Dark Souls esque game. That started that whole genre almost.
yeah,
And it's just, I mean, the remake does look like they really, really went out of their way to do it justice. And it's a really hard balance to strike, because the old avid fans of Demon Souls, they're gonna be like, yeah, no changes,
yeah,
all the small bugs and stuff you need to keep in there so we can do like tricky backstabs and stuff like that, and all the imbalances in the game that made some tactics viable and stuff like that you need to keep. And then there's like new fans like and me, that I never played it myself, who are like, yeah, we want this to be a good experience. You want it to be a little bit smooth. You don't want that 2010 style of programming,
yeah.
where
And a good example of that is nostalgia can hurt you a lot because you know, recently I've been playing through the old Mafia for an upcoming project, and let me
yeah,
let me tell you, the more I play that game, the more I feel like, what the fuck, like, this nostalgia was so hard on this one. It's still a good game ahead of its time, but man, is it frustratingly poorly designed. So yeah, I expect to hear more on that front in the future.
I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that is an important balance to strike when you're making, and especially this type of game, which does have that cult following.
Yeah,
Like you said, it was never really popular when it released. It was a hidden gem, and it grew slowly, uh, you know, word of mouth style, because it was such a good game, even though
yeah,
it was really, really hard. But when you grow such to a cult following, the avid fans are always really, really critical of their baby. They don't want to destroy the baby. They want you to preserve it
yeah,
perfectly. And often they set unrealistic standards. But to me, at least, this looked really, and you can see that in the trailer they are kind of showing, hey, look, front steps are still viable. Carrying is really clutch. Look at this. They are kind of showcasing that we didn't change it that much, but also it does look so smooth, and the graphics are just insane, and the
yeah.
lighting and everything.
And if this, because I don't know if it was the same for you and for the listeners out there, but when I watched the stream, it looked like it didn't run that smooth. But I assume that's because of the stream. So
Mhm.
if they actually managed to get that level of graphics and it runs at a solid at least 60 FPS, it's gonna be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I saw some people like commenting 30 in the chat.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Yeah, it depends. Maybe I don't know. Even if it was running on authentic hardware, they said that some of the games were rendered on PC, or maybe
uh,
that was just Final Fantasy. I don't know, but
yeah. I think it was only Fun Fancy where,
yeah.
but you know what's also amazing about Demon Souls remake?
Mm,
It's a
no.
launch title.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. And they didn't explicitly like mention that,
No, they did not.
but it
But
is the launch title.
yeah, so for you guys out there who are really looking forward to this, I mean, this could potentially be a system seller because it really launches alongside.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, this game is a must buy for me.
for me too, definitely. Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna take a lot of holidays in November or December.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit bad actually, but yeah, it's good and bad, to have a lot of games to play.
Yeah, I'll barely be able to finish Demon Souls remake before Cyberpunk comes out. So
Yeah, we have Cyberpunk too. Oh my god, that's
same
gonna be a
month.
good solid 150 hours.
Oh yeah, with all the playthroughs, probably maybe even 200,
Yeah,
because at least 3 playthroughs, man. And but to be fair, this is all dependent on whether or not we can get a hold of a PS5 during the initial wave. I'm not so sure.
yeah. I think that will be hard. I mean, at least with this showcase, those are gonna sell like hot wheat cake.
Yeah, I think so. But if that's the case, then I'll just get Cyberpunk on PC and just like try to enjoy that while I wait for my PS5 to show up during Wave 13.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to kind of make some criminal deals to
Oh
get
yeah,
that one.
get the
So,
huts.
yeah, get the hots, get the connections. Okay, so and then there was the last like kind of hodgepodge Fortnite
Yeah,
presentation. It's
skip.
not too interesting. Yeah. I mean, Fortnite is Fortnite. I mean, they have to include that, but not too interesting for us.
Oh, not at all.
And
Um,
still, they had like this PlayStation Plus kind of thingy with a lot of PS4 games.
yeah, which looked like a good deal. They're trying to kind of push back against or like trying to compete with Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I mean, if they can get to the same level as Game Pass, then that's going to be a lot of value.
Oh yeah, and I like that Game Pass is kind of inciting competition here,
Yeah,
and we're the winners. I saw like Bloodborne and Final Fantasy, Batman. Was a lot of good games
yeah.
in there. So yeah, Battlefield 1. I never got to play that. Just
It
it was.
was
You remember all the hype before Battlefield 1? There was like
yeah.
insane amounts of hype.
I
But
played Battlefield 1 extensively, actually, both multiplayer on multiplayer, and it was a great game, but it was also very cancerous.
yeah, yeah, I can remember.
So, but
Oh my
yeah,
god.
it's a fun
Oh,
game, so not to be underestimated.
yeah, and Uncharted.
Of course, that's a
Was
banger.
great. Yeah, I think that if you didn't play a lot of PS4 titles, then this is really good kind of value.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Even Uncharted 4 by itself is a great game.
yeah, for sure. A buddy of mine played that to death, and he loves the series.
Right.
And yeah, like I mentioned, Arkham Knight,
Mm.
The Last Guardian, which I never got to play, but was it a little buggy?
I didn't really follow it that closely. I never got into the whole Ico Shadow of the
No, yeah,
Colossus series.
yeah,
So
because those are really kind of unique games.
yeah, Danken sang the praises for Shadow of the Colossus at least, but I don't know about Last
Yeah,
Guardian.
Shadow of the Colossus. I've played that game a lot on the original PS2,
Okay,
and I that game is amazing. That is a really kind of cult classic.
right.
Uh, but I don't Ico. That was not I liked Ico, but yeah, it wasn't that cool to me.
Right.
And Persona 5 also.
Oh
Did you
man.
play it?
Wait, hold on. Persona 5, I played I think
How many
my
hours?
I think my playthrough on that ran along the lines of 120 hours.
Respectable, respectable.
And that was not a completionist run either, which was crazy to me. So Persona 5 is like if you like turn-based JRPGs, it's one of the absolute best, hands down. Persona 4 was great, probably my favorite, but Persona 5, I know for a lot of people, especially those that experienced, usually whichever Persona game you experience first is the one you tend to favorite.
Fall in love
So for
with,
me, that's
yeah.
why it's 4. But for a lot of other people that I know that started with 5, it's their favorite, and for good reason. It's a great game. And now that they have the Royal Edition as well, which adds like another bunch of content and new characters and a new party member, everything like that.
Mm,
If it wasn't for the fact that a normal run of the base game took me 120 hours, I would have bought Royal. So if it
okay,
comes
yeah,
with PS Plus, then I'll probably get back into it and play Royal if it's Royal.
yeah. I mean, so the push for making PlayStation Plus viable does look appealing to me.
Yeah. If you're getting a PS5, you at some point owe it to yourself to play through Persona 5.
Yeah, I mean, God of War, even I didn't
Oh
play
man,
that either,
dude.
and yeah, I know I'm ashamed, but there's only
No, it
so much
just
time. Steph.
no. I just no. It wasn't shame. It was just I envy you because you get to experience all of that fresh. You have that ahead of you,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
that's a good feeling.
God of War was a really great way to segue into the last short and sweet announcement, which was the
Mhm.
sequel to God of War.
Oh yeah,
I mean, not much was shown, but I mean, they don't have to. it's
no,
it's gonna be freaking crazy, and
it's mega high.
yeah, this they essentially they don't need to show any trailers at all. I think they can just show this, and it's just
The
like the game
title.
will already sell, a metric ton.
Oh yeah. So I mean, that's kind of like a slam dunk, that last little tease.
Yeah, and they kind of pulled a wowed on it. You know how
Mhm.
when Obsidian back then said like, "Oh, and everybody, we know that everybody's waiting for the next big Obsidian RPG, and here it is." It's just like they
Yeah.
show you that little shit of Avowed, which looks amazing. And it's the same here. It's like, oh, but we have this one more, and it's just like casually God of War sequel. Just okay,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a way to round out the show.
yeah,
And the price is also, you know, um, 500 and 400
yes,
for
um,
the physical and digital, respectively,
yeah,
in dollars.
and 4,000 for a digital for a PS5 to me, like 4,000 crowns. That is, that's a buy. That's a very reasonable
Yeah,
price.
I mean, yeah, for me, I mean, I think that they push the price. $400 for it seems really cheap, but they
Yeah.
said that uh, margins will be like the way they get their money back,
Mm,
because the digital margins for Sony are just so much better.
yeah.
profit wise than on the physical discs.
And I assume with the projected sales, it's not going to be an issue to actually
Oh
make
yeah,
and
no.
earn back the money.
And I think that Sony has done this like multiple times before, selling the console at least, in the initial stages of production at a loss.
Right.
Because as you produce more, the process gets more streamlined. It gets cheaper, and as components age, they also get cheaper
Right.
to produce. So the initial console is almost always sold at a loss just to establish market share, and but I think that $400 for the digital edition. I mean, it's just the same console, just not with the drive in it.
Yeah.
So
And that makes it a better
that's
deal. I'm easily willing to go up $100 from the Xbox Series
Series
S
X.
just to get
Yeah,
the full functionality of it, just that it's without physical.
yeah, me too. And I mean, all of these games, it just looks, it's so appealing. It's so compelling.
Yeah.
Just sold me. Take my fucking money.
ソニーの神様へ、俺を
Hmm.
奴隷として使ってください。Please take me as a slave, Sony gods.
Yeah, I mean, they really knocked it out of the park. And I wonder how Microsoft are going to respond. Is it going to be like a back and forth bout now? Are they going to be like Xbox Series Z? It's going to be $100. It's going to have Nintendo 64 graphics.
And it's going to have Super Saiyan here
Yeah,
and an aura around it. That's the only difference.
yeah, that's the only difference. But I mean, yeah, I don't see how Microsoft can punch above this again, or like kind of outdo Sony on this one. It was just such a strong showing.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's gonna be difficult for. I think Xbox is still gonna sell quite a lot more this generation than they did the previous, most likely because the offering they do is still good. It's just that Sony are they from the looks of it right now, are they gonna sell more than Sony? I don't think so.
No, me neither. I think that Sony is at least getting a head start on this one,
Yeah.
but we'll have to see. We never know when the Microsoft has always been a good contender in this game of consoles. So
If only they released a planet-sized Xbox Series K.
then valued at 1K each.
Man,
Oh yeah.
that's like what 70 full lifetimes of servitude in debt to pay back.
Yeah, 70 lifetimes of entire populations of planets.
Right.
Yeah, it's the production value of one planet for at least 70 lifetimes
Yeah.
with the 10 billion inhabitants.
It's like
So you're not getting it cheap.
no, you're not. But then again, with all the things you can do with it, I'm sure you can earn that back once you afford it.
People who listen to this are not going to understand shit.
all you all you need to know is K is the one above all.
He is the one.
He is the god of all things deep fried.
Mhm.
And
Creator of the Shaker universe.
and that's all. That's all we can tell you for now.
But as always, remember to stay humid.
And stay dank.